Okay. Contestants, kindly ensure all electronic noise producing devices, such as mobiles, tablets, are switched off or turned to silent mode. Let us do that in the next 5 seconds. Thank you. All other participants of the meetings will be put on mute by the moderator. In order to maintain fairness to all contestants, please reserve your applause till the final list of winners is announced. The judges, contestants, functionaries, and sergeant at arms have been fully briefed on the rules. The contestants have been informed about the timers. Are there any questions from the contestants or any contest officials before we get started? Chief Judge, I now invite the Chief Judge to speak.
Thank you so much, Contest Master. So today is a big day. Every contest gives us an opportunity to excel from where we already are. This is an opportunity for us to prove ourselves in front of us and everyone else. As with every contest, and I am saying this not because it sounds good, but I'm saying this because I really believe in this, that you are a winner if you decide to contest. We need to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ranking. Hence, we will be having a judging. But the moment you decide that you are going to come and perform, you are a winner in your own rights. So let this contest be no different. Let everyone here consider themselves a winner because they have decided to contest. And come what may, as the chief judge of this contest, my responsibility is to ensure that the sanctity of the contest is maintained, that fairness is maintained, and that the best speaker wins. Whoever wins, one thing is for sure, that the contest must not lose. Thank you. Over to you, Contest Master.
Thank you very much, Chief Judge Saurabh Datta. Now, shall we start this contest now?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Let us now begin evaluation contest for Samsung Bangalore Toastmasters Club. We will now have our test speech. The test speech will be for 5 to 7 minutes. Our test speaker for today is Toastmaster Vijay with the speech title, The Darkness Outside the Window. The Darkness Outside the Window, Toastmaster Vijay. Over to you, Toastmaster Vijay.
The darkness outside the window. When you are in an unfamiliar place, sometimes funny things happen, frightening things happen. Hello, my friends. Let me tell you about something that happened a few years ago to me. I come from Malaysia, and one of the states of my country is called Sabah, which lies on the island of Borneo, while I live in West Malaysia, which is a peninsula. I went with a couple of my friends to Sabah. We went to this lovely city called Kota Kinabalu, which is the administrative capital. And we were there for a seminar. What happened was we all went into our respective rooms, and I shared my room, well, it's a dormitory, with 5 others. Now, before I left for Sabah, my dear mother told me, Apu, my home name, wherever you go, you must recite the Gayatri mantra. So I said, okay, mommy, I'll recite it. I not only recite the Gayatri mantra daily, I also recite it to Indra, the god of thunder of the Vedic age, who I love so much. I also recite to Krishna and to Shiva. Well, I'm a South Indian. We all run for Shiva. Anyhow, I went there. Everything was very fine, every hunky dory. What happened was that one particular night, on the first night we were there, all of us went to sleep. So I was there nestled in my bed, my lovely blankie, happy. And when the lights were turned out, we only had one small light as a night light. But the window was left open because it was very lovely fresh air. Now, while my friends were asleep, I was thinking to myself what I'm going to do the next day, what I'm going to do for the seminar. And I noticed something very strange outside the window. Something dark, something very sinister was appearing. I tell you, I was scared stiff because I've heard some very funny stories about that place. It's a lovely place, lovely people, but there are very funny things that can occur. I mean, to say funny is misnomer, it's more like more terrifying. I got scared out of my wits. I immediately put my blanket up, then I lowered it down to see what is happening. And this thing was rising, it was, I mean, it's slowly coming up. And it was not a happy shape. I wouldn't say it was good. It was very sinister. They had funny shape here like horns. And you could just about see the eyebrows. I tell you, I was absolutely petrified. Again, I raised my blanket and I went like that. And I was thinking, oh dear God, and I started to recite I remembered my mother said, recite the Gayatri mantra, recite the Gayatri mantra. So I started to recite the Gayatri mantra. Oh, then I said to myself, Gayatri mantra is not enough. I also say to Indra and I also say to Shiva because Shiva's my protector. So I said all the three mantras, especially the Gayatri mantra. And still, when I lowered the blanket, my Christ, the thing was still there. And it was going up, down. As I lowered my blanket, it will come up. And when I put it up, I don't know what it was doing, but I think it was going down and it was coming up. I was thinking, my God. No, I'm not going to entertain this anymore. I'm not going to scream for my friends. I can't do that because they also get frightened. And Sabah is such a place. So I put my blanket and I kept on saying the mantra, kept on reciting until I finally went to sleep. Next day, I woke up. I looked at my fridge. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. And at certain times of the year, 6 o'clock in the morning will start to get quite bright in Malaysia. Okay? Certain times of the year, especially during the rainy season, it's too dark until 7 o'clock. But it was not the rainy season, so it was slowly getting light. And I waited. Is it getting light? Is it getting light? And it was getting light, and finally, it was all over. And well, we woke up, and later that day, I narrated what happened to my friends. Now, one of my friends is not an Indian. He's a Malay. He's one of the ethnic groups in my country. The other three guys, one guy is a Chinese, and he's a Christian. The other two guys were Indians. One of whom was a Christian. The other one, like me, a Hindu. So I narrated what happened, and they said, Vijay, I don't know what happened. Okay, either you were seeing things or it was something. But one of my countrymen told me, actually, there are some things about the state of Sabah that can get quite sinister. All right, the people are wonderful, the place is wonderful. My goodness, if you people in India want to come to Sabah for a holiday, by all means go. But there are certain places where sinister things happen. But since you said your prayers, Even the Christians told me, it doesn't matter, blink what prayer. You said a prayer, you say it. But tomorrow, from now on, as long as we are here in this hostel, we are going to close the window. And we did just that. And at least the remaining days there went out well. Thank you. Back to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vijay. So now, timer, please announce the time taken by the test speaker to deliver this speech.
Yeah, Toastmaster Vijay Kumar took 6 minutes 14 seconds.
Okay. So now I request moderator to move Sergeant at Arms 2, timer 2, and all the contestants to the breakout room. I request Samir to move all the.
Yes, madam.
Thanks. All the. So Samir, all the Sergeant at Arms 2, timer 2,
Yes.
and all the contestants also to the breakout room.
Yes. Yeah.
So is it done?
Yep. Done.
Okay.
I
So
see all the
still,
contestants in the main room.
yeah, I'm also saying the same.
Did the
And also-
contestants receive an invitation to join a breakout room?
No,
Okay.
You got Shama, you got right.
not yet.
Samir, you want me to do it?
I have already assigned them. I don't know. You can try it out.
Okay. Please confirm.
Shobit
Just
and
Shobit and Arun. Yeah.
Shobit, please join the breakout room. Shobit, please join the breakout room.
Shobit is in the waiting room right now. Should I admit him?
I've admitted him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So has Shobit joined?
Yeah. Shobit, please switch on your camera, unmute yourself, and join the breakout room, please. Quickly.
Yeah, I tried, but it didn't open. So I joined again when I clicked the link.
1 second.
Yeah.
Try once more.
Yeah. So I see one instance of Shobit here. So in the main room.
Okay, I'm removing.
Okay. Now we are good to go, right?
Yes. 5 minutes from now, timer 1.
Okay, great. So Toastmaster Vijay, could you please tell us about your journey with the Toastmasters?
Well, hi, hello. And as you know, I come from
Hello,
Malaysia.
Toast.
I've been a Toastmaster for the past 7 years. I became a Toastmaster 7 years ago when I was interested in public speaking because I also happened to be, while at that time I was still an office worker, and I was also about to embark on a study in teaching English. So I stutter a bit. Whenever I talk, even now, as you know, I stutter a bit. And I wanted to overcome that. And I also found that I'm a very expressive person. Even when I'm teaching or tutoring students, I seem to be able to engage them, or at least most of them. So, in order to be a teacher, you have to explain things and you have to be very engaging. Stuttering is a terrible drawback. I've had this for a number of years. And so that's why I also became a Toastmaster. And so far, I'm only a CC, but that's following the old path. In the new path, I'm doing presentation mastery. I'm still well into level 1 because I'm also very busy with other things. But I hope to finish it soon. But I think it's great being a Toastmaster. And I always advise people, if you want to be a Toastmaster, don't just say because I want to be a Toastmaster. You have to find out what is it in Toastmasters that will benefit you um, in your social interaction and also for your career. I see that you're with the Samsung company, so that's very important. And in my country, we have a lot of people who are professionals. And one of the great things about being a Toastmaster is that I got to meet a lot of professionals, and some of who are in the education line, lecturers, teachers, such. So I think it's great being a Toastmaster. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vijay. So now there are still time, so let's let's revisit our knowledge of the Toastmasters with a short quiz. Uh, so, could anyone tell who is the founder of the Toastmasters? I think many can be aware of this. Sure, Toastmaster Vijay.
Ralph C. Smedley in 1924 in Santa Clara or Santa Ana in California, in the
Great.
basement of the YMCA there.
Okay, great. So I am a new Toastmaster. I have joined this year only. So I after means it has not been long enough for me to know entire history. So I found it very interesting. These all trivia about Toastmasters. So I thought there might be many people like me who might find it interesting. So now Ralph C. Smedley, you told, right, Vijay?
It actually was a Dr. Ralph C. Smedley.
Okay.
Apparently, can I continue? Yeah. Well, yeah. He wanted to give people the ability to learn how to speak in public. And so that's why he came up with the idea. And of course, he's an American from that time, 1920s. I think he was born in the 1800s, late 1800s. These guys are all Christians. Those were the days when America was a country of good morals, unless from the 1950s when everything went, you know. And
Okay.
Dr. Smedley wanted that so. And I believe the word Toastmasters came because people had the idea that these guys meet, for this public speaking in order to drink toasts at conventions or dinners or wedding parties. So that's how the name Toastmasters came. And Dr. Smedley was, I think, was the president for quite some time before he retired. In my club, we usually have a session for that where we tell about it, you see. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you. So now I found it interesting, but I think many people do not know the middle name of Mr. Rag C. Smedley. So is there anyone who can tell me what's the Mr. Smedley's middle name? Anyone would like to volunteer?
Chestnut. Mr. Ralph Chestnut Smedley.
Yeah, right, 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 Chief Judge, sort of. So yeah, okay, and I think this has been answered by
We are
Vijay.
over 5 minutes now, so we have to call the first contestant.
Okay, sure. So moderator, please move contestant 1 and timer 2 to the main room. Samir, can you move contestant 1 and timer 2?
Yep.
Sure.
We don't have the timer to yet.
So are they? Oh, timer 2 is not here. Can you inform timer 2 to also come to the main room? Okay. So now, in order to maintain fairness to each contestant, I now request the audience to maintain silence for 2 minutes. Timer, please indicate when the 2 minutes is up. Thank you. Thank you. Contestant 1, please unmute. We will now have the audio video check for contestant 1. Please repeat after me. It's a bright and lovely day. 1, 2, and 3.
It's a bright and lovely day. 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you. Now, contestant number 1, Shama Parekh. Shama Parekh.
Please take a confirmation from the timers that she was audible and visible, and from the chief judge before every contestant. She was audible and visible to me. Timers, please confirm if she was audible and visible to you.
She was audible and visible.
Thank you.
Yes, she was audible and visible.
Thank you. Contestant number 1, Shama Parekh. Shama Parekh, contestant number 1.
Good evening,
Please go
everyone.
ahead.
Good evening, everyone. And thanks to Vijay for giving such a wonderful speech. Now, coming to the evaluation part, I would like to tell Vijay he has chosen a very catchy title, The Darkness Outside the Window, which sets the context of the entire speech as it is a horror speech or something very dark around. But as the speech progressed, it was more of a horror comedy, and that has leveled up the speech. Three things which I would like to tell Vijay about the speech is catchy title which he has chosen. The one line which applies to all of us is strange thing happens when we are in a new place. At some point of time, all of us would have experienced this. The third thing which he has put right upward upfront is mother's advice to recite Gayatri mantra when we are in trouble. And by not only reciting the Gayatri mantra, he has added all the mantras, Indra mantra, Krishna mantra, and Shiva mantra, so as to make sure that he and his friends are safe in that strange place, new place, Saba. He has set the context right to make it a mix of comedy as well as horror. Very natural speaking style, as if it is going in a flow, a very smooth flow. And most important thing, he has not forgotten to embellish his speech with quite good words like sinister, petrified, etc. But to challenge and level up his speech to the next level, I would like to tell you 2 points which you can add on. You could have kept your prop as a surprise to the audience. You have used your prop right at the start of the beginning, at the start of your speech. You could have kept it a surprise and used it at the place when you were switching off the light and keeping the night light only on, and then you kept it so that you could have kept a surprise. The second point is conclusion could have been better, more connected. You just tell that you have narrated the story and your friends told, we will keep the window shut. That's it. You could have add more horror or comedy or adventures in order to connect it to the entire storyline. So you can add those points and to level up your speech and challenge yourself. Overall, it was a wonderful speech. I enjoyed listening to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shama. We shall now observe 2 minutes of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. I now ask the timer to start the time.
First of all, thank you, Toastmaster Vijay, for delivering such a nice story. I personally like.
Excuse me. Hold on. You have not been asked to start contestant 2. The contest master will ask you to talk. Please hold on.
Yeah. Now that contestant 2 is inside the main room, in order to maintain fairness to each contestant, I now request.
Of silence now. We have already done
Yeah.
the 2 minutes of silence. You can please do the audio video check for contestant 2.
Okay, thank you. So let's do an audio video to check for contestant 2. Contestant 2, please repeat after me. It's a bright and lovely day. 1, 2, and 3.
It's a bright and lovely day. 1, 2, and 3.
So, Chief Judge, can you confirm if the video and audio?
Contestant 2 is audible and visible.
Timers, can you confirm? Timer 1.
He was audible and visible.
Timer 2, can you confirm?
He is audible and visible.
Okay. Thank you. Contestant number 2, Ankit Keshav. Ankit Keshav, contestant number 2. Please go ahead.
First of all, thank you, Toastmaster Vijay, for delivering such a nice speech. I personally like hearing stories, and when somebody adds personal touch or when they bring something personal from their life, I get even more careful in listening to what they are here for. Well, when Toastmaster Vijay started his speech, I was really startled to hear his detailing which he has done within his story. Right? When he added all those details of where exactly the location was, what was the precise location of that place, I could imagine myself being just with Vijay. When he talked about his location where he was staying, that dormitory, the window, every single thing which he used to look at. When he was talking about the window, he was looking at the window, and I could imagine as if he's sitting in the same room where this incident happened when he was looking outside in the darkness. When Toastmaster Vijay brought in the conversation about Gayatri Mantra with his mother, it was amazing how he used his direct speeches and how his mother told him that whenever you are in fear, recite Gayatri Mantra. And to which it helped in the end, which he actually was able to weave. He was able to bring what his mother has advised him or what he has thought at that moment, even in the middle of the story, which even brought a lot more perfection, and it bound the story from the beginning towards the end. There were many new things which I observed, like the proper uses of the prop. He came up with a blanket, and the way he played like a magician, when he was just hiding his face, showing his apathy, disdain, fear. It was amazing, right? Even if you are coming with a prop, the way you use your facial gestures, that was really, really amazing. There was one moment where I felt that you started to stammer. You were using me. That is something which can be improved, I guess, if we do the fair recital of a story beforehand. The uses of these number of hours can be reduced in our stories, and it will bind the audience for a longer period of time. Personally, I felt that the story from the beginning towards the middle was totally perfect. And I was feeling right now, Toastmaster Vijay is going to make me feel scared by bringing the vivid description of the ghost. But truthfully, I was not scared by your story. And towards the end, I got to know it was a story of amazement rather than horror. So we could have worked more on the conclusion of this story, which could have brought more detailing, and it would have given some perspective to the audience or the listeners. Moreover, if I just walk from the beginning to the end, I totally liked the story and understood the gist. I found myself at the place where you are. Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay, for delivering such a speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ankit. We shall now observe 2 minutes of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please.
Hello, am I?
Thank you. Contestant 3, please unmute. We will now have an audio video check for contestant 3. Please repeat after me. It's a bright and lovely day. 1, 2, and 3.
It's a bright and lovely day. 1, 2, and 3.
With the proper gesture, please. Again, we'll continue. It's a bright and lovely day. 1, 2, and 3.
It's a bright and lovely day. 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you. So, contestant number 3,
Audible and
Shobit Mathur. Contestant, okay. Chief Judge, could you please confirm if it was fine?
Contestant 3 is audible and visible.
Timer 1, could you please confirm if contestant number 3 is audible and visible?
Yeah, contestant 3 was audible and visible.
Timer 2, please confirm if contestant 3 is audible and visible.
Contestant 3 is audible and visible.
Contestant number 3, Shobit Mathur. Shobit Mathur, contestant number 3. Please go ahead.
Okay. Darkness outside windows. It was looking like a normal plot, but how to convert it into a paranormal plot. That's how the art of storytelling is that Mr. Vijay did. So it was a hurricane of emotions that has brought into this potluck. And what the content was, the main content was focused on how to not just give a testimony of the trip, to make all of us a passenger of this journey to Malaysia. So I really appreciate and commend for the spontaneous start and having a clear structure of the body to make audience as a part of this journey. The second thing I want to focus is a beautiful emancipation of hand gestures. It was very evolving. When you look at the plot, it is very non-linear. So whenever you have to go into the horror plot, you have to make it a non-linear, not a monotonous. So with the beautiful hand gestures, with the Z plus blanket security, that moving up and down, giving you in the nights, and how to show the prominence of Gayatri Mantra with proper hand gestures, were a proper display of good presence of mind and presence of hand gestures. Only, in my opinion, you can focus is on to make your hand gestures more symmetric. I see your left hand being used a little more. Coming to the body of the speech. It was beautifully fabricated. Content was sufficient. It was very well focused to display from the start till the end how you landed up in Osaba in Malaysia. What is the geographical beauty? What is the landscape and various things? But you gave a caveat. You gave a caveat to audience. There are some events that can bring a horror comedy for you, as you mentioned with your plot. So the core of description was all horror comedy with beautiful humor and hand gestures. So that was a mix of a content variety. So coming to the transition, so when you first explained about how you went with the friends to Malaysia, it was very well explained that you were coming to the next segment. But in the last, when you came to the conclusion, oh, if you want to go, you can go, but there is certain problem. So that transition from middle of the content to conclusion segment was little abrupt, was little flat, was little very fast. So I would love the transitions to be little smooth. And one of the best things that I observed today was voice modulation. So when you mentioned Gayatri Mantra, when you mentioned left window, you use the left hand. So there was a proper synchronization of the voice and hand gestures with the pitch. So this voice modulation worked perfectly in throughout the speech that I have seen, and it is pitch perfect. Next thing is eye contact. It was very even. You were moving your eyes throughout the speech and throughout all the segment. It captured the attention and eyeballs of the user. But one of the thing that I want to suggest in your speeches, whenever you mention in diaspora, like Indian, Chinese, it is okay. You're mentioning a diaspora, but we can avoid using term like that, Hindu and Christian. We cannot go till the religion part. So in and all, I would like to summarize your speech was perfect. You can just work on your transitions and make your conclusion little more peak, because you started at the peak, you ended at the flat. So it should be like two maximas from the beginning and the end. Otherwise, your speech was fabulous. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shobit. We shall now observe 2 minutes of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Thank you. Contestant number 4, please unmute yourself. We shall have audio and video check. Please repeat after me. It's a bright and lovely day. 1, 2, and 3.
It's a bright and lovely day. 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you. Chief Judge, could you please confirm if the audio and video is clear?
Yes, the contestant is audible and visible.
Thank you. Timer 1, could you please confirm if the audio and video is clear?
Yes, contestant 4 audio and video are clear.
Thank you. Timer 2, could you please confirm if the audio and video are clear?
Contestant 4, audio and video is clear.
Thank you. Contestant number 4, Arun D. Prabhu. Arun D. Prabhu, contestant number 4, please go ahead.
Dear Toastmasters, do you know what the best thing about stories are? It can take you to different places. And if stories was a car, then I hope the driver was Toastmaster Vijay Kumar, because Toastmaster Vijay Kumar is a master storyteller. When Toastmaster Vijay narrated that story, I felt that I was there. I felt that I was watching the sinister monster coming towards me slowly. When he was covering behind his blanket, then I felt I was doing the same too. I was looking up and again I was going back and I was very scared. When Toastmaster Vijay reached out to different gods such as Indra, Shiva, or Gayatri, I felt that strategy would work for me. And even I would have done the same, reaching out to the different gods that I know. I'm really glad that we both made it alive on the next day. And the best thing which I loved about your speech was the beautiful usage of imagery. The usage of the prop was excellent. I really loved how you use the blanket. But I feel that the speech could have been better with 3 different points. 1, conclusion. Even though I loved your conclusion, I thought it could be made more impactful by adding a little bit of more humor. Maybe you had a friend whose mother had given him a Ma Durga ribbon and he had tied it outside and its fluttering throughout the night made you think that you were looking at a monster and your prayers started a fight between 2 different goddesses. Or maybe you would have had a much more shocking ending where your friend told that even though the people of Saba are good, even though Saba is an awesome place, but there really exists such a monster who has been known to kidnap students, kidnap children, and you made it alive the very next day. The second thing was the prop itself. And even though I loved the usage of the prop, I saw you sneaking the prop just before the speech started. And this made me realize that you're going to use it during the speech. So if you had prepared beforehand and if you had it ready for the speech, that surprise element would have of you conjuring a blanket out of nowhere would have made me love the speech more. Lastly, it would be the eye contact. Due to this virtual environment, the way to have a better eye contact would be to look directly at the webcam. And even though I could see that you were looking at the different audience members, I think it would have been better if you were focusing on the camera. I thoroughly enjoyed the story, Toastmaster Vijay, and I'm very sure that if someone had told me during a campsite, it would have decreased I would not have slept for at least 2-3 hours. Thank you. Over to you, Contest Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arun.
You're on mute, Contest Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arun. We shall now observe 5 minutes of silence for the judges to mark their ballots and tally their score. I request the moderator, Samir, to escort the chief judge and the tally counters to the breakout room.
Samir, I'm doing it. I've got the breakout room open already. I will need the SA2 and the 2 timers in the breakout room with me. Thank you. SA2 and the 2 timers, please accept the invite.
So,
Yes, Mrinal, you can go ahead now.
so let's go ahead with the quiz. Now, prior to this, we were having a quiz. Now, the quiz was regarding the different aspects of different information about Toastmasters. So can anybody tell what was the name of the first two-page newsletter started in 1932 by the Toastmasters? Anyone?
The beginning, I mean, I don't, just guessing a name for the first newsletter.
So, okay, so since nobody else is coming, so it is the thing which the president uses before every meeting and closes it before the meeting is over.
Gavel.
Using a virtual?
Gavel.
Yeah,
Gavel.
yeah, correct. Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting. And by the way, can anybody tell that in which year did the Toastmaster International begin publishing the Toastmaster magazine?
Was it not in 1932 when you
1933? I think 1933, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
1933.
Yeah, it's 1933. The newsletter was different than the magazine. So it is
Oh.
okay. So I'll now be
you missed
going
by 1
to
year,
room
Arun.
1. So please, SIA, please take it from here. I'm joining the breakout room.
Since we have time for our results, I wanted to ask our guests about their experiences, how they're enjoying, or their feedback basically. Anyone can volunteer? Anyone from audience?
Can I go?
Yes, Ted, please.
Yeah, so first apologies that I joined a little late. There was power outage in my area, but just listening to what I have been listening so far, I think I need to get like a really strong team of judges for our area, because you guys are not taking this lightly. But thoroughly been enjoying the evaluations.
Thanks, Ayad. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm Mamta speaking.
Hi, Mamta. Yes, please.
I was also there in the meeting from the beginning, and I enjoyed the way everybody is putting the best foot forward and making the program flow around very comfortably and smoothly. Everything is going on fine, and there's a lot that needs to be pre-planned and planned and executed, and it's going fine. I really expect, I have learned quite a few things from here, and when I'm going to be a role taker in one of the next meetings, I will really put all these things into action and make sure there are also things move around comfortably. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's surely a learning experience for, all of us. Thanks, Mamta, for pointing it out. Anyone else want to share their experiences?
I would like to share my experience as a contestant.
Yeah,
So
sure.
while we were in breakout room, I was feeling as if I was writing an exam, because we have to point our cameras towards our notebook and we have to show both our hands, and that was an amazing experience. As if teacher is there and we have to keep showing. Even after returning to the main room, I was keeping my hands like this, and I like this. This is what we have to maintain in any contest. So yes, it was a very good experience for me as well. Thank you.
Oh, that's a unique experience. I don't know. Contestants may add something if they want to. Or
Yeah, one thing which I can add,
Yeah.
being in the evaluation, being in the breakout room is extremely boring when you have to stare at people for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. Every minute counts.
Especially with a strict invigilator like Shubneet, who has maintained silence there.
And especially when you are the fourth contestant like Arun. So you have to wait for everybody else to leave the breakout room.
Yeah, that's terrifying. There's silence and it's going on, waiting for 15, 20 minutes in the breakout room, just showing my hands like this.
Like this.
As if a cop has caught all of us and we are like this.
So I would like to tell something to you guys who are thinking this, right, in terms of the feeling the contestants, while waiting room. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to participate in contests when we used to meet physically. And there was I don't know how to say it in English, but there's a term which we use in Hindi called chaud. So the SA used to have a lot of chaud because it felt more like a police officer in a room, making sure, hey, nope, keep your papers down. Right. So it's a whole different ball game when you meet in person, and when you have those contests with so many eyes just looking at you when you're speaking. But I just can't wait for you guys to come. Let go of the virtual version, and hopefully, when this thing subsides, participate in the physical format, because that's you'll be surprised there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not for us yet. I mean, since we joined in this COVID period, we haven't experienced that. Yeah, but we'd love to experience that thing as well.
Then I can guarantee you're in for a treat.
Sure.
Hello everyone. So we're back. I would now invite our chief judge to give his 2 words about this entire contest. Chief Judge Saurav Datta, please come up.
Thank you so much. So again, very good contest. So corporate club contests always have a certain quality which I really like, and probably because you already have to present in so many meetings and you have to do so many presentations in front of your bosses. So for you, evaluating and providing feedback is probably a way of life, right? So when you do this in a contest, you just do it with a little bit more professionalism, with a little bit within some certain perimeters of rules. But otherwise, I don't think it's very different from what you do. So a couple of observation about the contest. So I understand that most of the contest role takers were doing it for the first time. So a big round of applause to all of you. I think you did a very good job, and there was you were learning along the way. There were a few glitches here and there. I had to kind of intervene and say that this has to be done, that has to be done, and that's perfectly okay, because that's why we have a club level contest, right? So that we learn some of these things at the club level, where we feel more at home, because when you go to the area level and the division level and the district level, things are very different there, right? So things have to be done in a much more orderly fashion. People are less tolerant. The chief judge is not so sweet. I'm not saying I'm so sweet, but I'm saying that people are definitely going to be strictly by the books, and the tone is going to be very different, right? So I think that way this club level contests give you a cushion and helps you use that cushion as a springboard to land in the area level contest. It's a very good practice. A big round of applause for Mrinal. I think he picked it up very late, and he worked with me, and he was both the contest chair and the contest master. So people who don't understand yet the difference between contest chair and contest master, this is how the difference works. The contest chair is more like the project manager. He is the person who manages the entire contest, right? So he's the person who arranges the test speaker, arranges the chief judge, arranges all the role takers, takes the contestant nominations, prepares all the certificates, everything around the contest, and he really does not speak in the contest, because that is the time when he's just there, right? And he's there he's like the head of the family, and if anything is going wrong, like there are protests and this and that, then in those cases only the contest chair is kind of called into action. Here, Rinal had to wear both the hats of a contest master and the contest chair, right? So which became even more difficult for him, because at one point he was like going through his script, okay, I have to say this, and suddenly like, okay, this person is not there, or this person has to be moved to the breakout room, or this is happening, that is happening, handling both of these two things. So the role of an MC and the role of the project manager together is not easy to play, and definitely not easy to play for a first timer. So Mrinal, I would really want to congratulate you for doing with so much of ease and so much of elan. So great job with that. Now coming to the timers, again, great. I did not see many visible differences in the timer report. That's a very good job, because many cases I see that the both timers are at two ends, right? And sometimes it so happens that one timer says that these two contestants are disqualified, other timer says they're not disqualified, and that also not by a couple of seconds but by several seconds. So it becomes very difficult for the judges and the chief judge to take a call who to go with. So in this case, I found both the timers pretty much in tandem, giving their this thing. But there were slight differences, and which is kind of expected because we are not playing fastest fingers first here, right? So therefore, definitely there would be a little bit of a human margin of error. Someone presses the button 2 seconds will after someone else presses, or maybe someone is a little distracted at that point of time, which is perfectly okay. The Sergeant at Arms, again, a fantastic job, both the SA1 and the SA2. You had, I know you had a script, but then the script also was of a different club, so you had to kind of make the adjustments, and you did it well. And the script you could not have used as is because that club had two contests together, so evaluation and table topics. So I know certain places in the script you would have probably had to make a change, SA1. So and along with that, you were also, kind of doubling up as the Zoom moderator, trying to create the breakout rooms. And since you guys are using a different account, this is not your own host account, so therefore doing stuff on this account could sometimes get tricky, but you did a great job with that, Toastmaster Samir, so congratulations and thank you for that.
Thank you.
Coming to our SA2, the policeman in the breakout room, that's the main role, right? So where you have to be there, the red-eyed cop, and give everyone that stare and that hard look whenever they're trying to look here and there, and their hands are going to, go and just check their time or check the last WhatsApp message. So and doing it with the own club member is a little bit relatively difficult, because tomorrow again you'll have to sit with this guy in a meeting, right? And there he would be like, okay, you and I don't know how the hierarchy works. If any of these people in the breakout room are seniors to you, you're working as a part of one project or something, that things get even more trickier. So but you did a very good job. Now some of the observations that I would want to make, which could get better, this is particularly related to the breakout room. And as I said, in the club level, we are very, certain cases we are a little flexible, though I think we maintain the entire sanctity of the entire contest right from the word go. But in the breakout room, everything was in order. But one thing, what I would definitely want you to, keep in mind, all the contestants in the breakout room, certain things you cannot do. Whoever will whoever will go to the area contest, you will have to remember first that in the breakout room you cannot talk, you cannot ask questions, you cannot clarify your doubts, you cannot even have exchange of pleasantries, you cannot crack a joke, you cannot even check on the essay how is he doing, or on the other contestants how are you doing, right? You cannot talk to your family members and just have some quality family time in those 10 minutes, because you're doing nothing and you don't get that luxury all the time. None of these things are allowed in the breakout room. In a breakout room, it has to be absolute silence, and it is very important we do that way. So you may feel that why are we so strict about these things? I'll tell you why. Because in an online world, remember, it takes just one WhatsApp message to kill a contest, right? So we have to be extremely careful. And as I said yesterday in the briefing, that we operate within the premises of two assumptions. Assumption number one, everyone will play fair. Assumption number two, everyone is capable of playing unfair. So when we operate within these two assumptions, then we have to be very careful that the sanctity of the contest is not lost because of someone not playing it by the rules, right? So that's why we have to be very careful. So please be cautious in the area level contest and the division level contest about your conduct in the breakout room. The last thing you want is not doing anything and getting, disqualified from the contest because of some stupid reason. And forget about disqualification. Like any kind of question on your integrity, it hurts us, right? I mean, when someone says that I'm going to disqualify you because I think you played it unfair, it kind of hurts us. So do you would not want to be labeled, or at least to yourself, that I had to face this stick for this. So apart from that, I think everything was fine. Congratulations to all the contestants. Remember, the numbers, the ranking are just a part of the game. The game is all about participation and contesting and speaking. Over to you, Contest Master.
Thank you, Chief Judge, for this wonderful explanation, and thank you for applauding the post contest master. It was my debut, and it was very entertaining, very learning for me. I got a lot to learn, and still more to come. And from the so now we have the results ready, and I would like the chief judge to come up and uh, announce the results. I'll be sharing my screen with the certificates.
Please share your screen once I announce the result. Please don't flash the certificate before I announce the name.
Okay, okay. Okay.
So let me start with the second runner-up. The second runner-up for the Samsung Bangalore Toastmasters Club evaluation contest is Toastmaster Ankit Keshav. A big round of applause for Toastmaster Ankit. Contest Master, can we please display the certificate and spotlight Toastmaster Ankit at the same time? Can you put this on the presentation view so that we can take a screenshot? I don't know how it is done. Okay, I think we can go with this. Will someone take a screenshot of this?
I think F11 is the shortcut. Mrinal, can you try that for full screen?
Let us go with this. Can someone take a screenshot? Zoom
So,
moderator.
sorry, Arun. Sorry, Arun. Can you tell again what you told? Just now, sorry, I did not hear.
I think the shortcut for getting Adobe on full screen is F11.
F11.
I think I'm having some problem with
It's
this.
okay. We will go with this.
Can
Just
this?
take a screenshot, moderator or SA1. Please confirm once
Okay.
it's taken. Done?
Samir, please. Uh, Samir, please confirm once you take the screenshot. Okay. Samir is not there, I think.
Okay, I've taken a screenshot. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Can you
So
go
I'll,
out share so that I can announce?
yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, now the first runner-up for Samsung Bangalore Toastmaster Club evaluation contest is Toastmaster Shobit. Toastmaster Shobit, can you please come on camera so that we can put you on spotlight? Are you there? Is Toastmaster Shobit there? He is, but he's not on
Toastmaster
camera.
Shobit, is he not on camera currently?
Okay, we'll move on. I've taken a screenshot. You can stop sharing.
Okay, thank you.
And now, the winner of Samsung Bangalore Toastmasters Club evaluation contest is Toastmaster Arun. Can you remove the intonation?
Okay, sorry.
Share again.
Okay, just
Someone just slashed to the certificate.
yeah.
Okay, screenshot taken. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations to all the participants. And back to you, contest master.
Thank you very much, Chief Judge. Congratulations to all the contestants for giving such a wonderful evaluation contest. I would now like to call upon Area Director to explain the procedure for the next stages. Area Director, Sayed, please.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Minal, for calling me up again. Wow, as I mentioned, a very good set of contestants with really good, credible evaluations. Yes, there were areas where needed some improvement. For most of it, I couldn't be a part of it, but I really want to first give a shout out to the chief judge for so perfectly displaying all the rules and regulations in terms of areas of improvement where we needed to do. And he is absolutely correct that when you come on the area contest, rules will be much more stricter. We will be much more in adherence with the Toastmaster guidelines, and we'll be following that. So thank you so much, Chief Judge, for that. Again, thank you so much, Minal, for taking this up last minute. I know we have been hustling back and forth, so thank you so much for doing that. Congratulations to all the winners. Now, the important question is, who would be going on the area level contest, right? Generally, it's ADs have an answer for that. At the moment, I don't. And here's the reason. Let me give you a brief background on how it works. In an area, we have a certain level of clubs, right? And you want to have as much participation from every club as possible. If we have like 4 or less than 4 areas, sorry, 4 or less than 4 clubs in an area, then we take the top 2 people from every club and we compete them at the area level. If we have 5 or more clubs in an area, and I really feel bad for the AD who has more than 5 clubs in an area, we will be taking only the winners of the club contest at the area level. Now, the tricky part for our area is we have 5 clubs, okay? But there is one club which started very new, and we are still in talks with this club in terms of will they be contesting in the contest. If they are a new club, they don't really actually have to contest as well. If they say if everyone in the club is in agreement that yeah, we don't want to hold a contest, we only have 1 or 2 people whom we want to send. If that is the case, and if we get confirmation, then in that scenario, only the winners of the club contests will compete at area level. However, if that club decides that no, we will not be participating, then in that case, we will be having both the winners and the runner-ups at the club contest participating at the area level. Okay, so to answer your question, who will be going on that? We are still in discussion for area C1 with the one club which is new. We will have an answer shortly for you. Okay, by shortly I mean mostly by the end of this weekend, because I know people want to participate, they want to practice, and I am very well aware of that. So be rest assured, I will have an answer to not just your club, every club in our area, including all the presidents and the area council. It will be announced that will we be having both the winners and runner-ups of the club contest, or just the winners going for area level. Okay, so I hope I answered that question. Back to you, Toastmaster Minal.
Thank you, Area Director Sayed. Now, with this, I am pleased to announce that the evaluation contest Samsung Bangalore Toastmaster Club come to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a thundering round of applause for all the contestants, the judges, all the participants, the speaker. Thanks a lot, everyone, for making this a success, a grand success. Hopefully, we'll be seeing more of such contests later in the future. It has indeed been a great learning experience and an absolute pleasure conducting this contest. You have been a wonderful audience. Please give it up for yourself. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice week.
Thanks, everyone. I hope you can join us again next weekend where we'll be having the table topics contest. I look forward to seeing you all there.